Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody who is in the building early. It is good to see each and every one of you. Hopefully everybody is doing great today. If you guys can hear me and see everything clearly on the screen, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things are looking bad on the screen, please give me a thumbs down. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early, all right? Shout out to Miss Nisi. What's good with it, Miss Nisi? Good to see you as always. Shout out to my man DSA in the building. What's good with it, bro? We got Jerry Bedford in the house. What's going on with it, Jerry? Good to see you as always. And shout out to my man J007. All right. It is good to see each and every one of you guys. Now we're going to get into it. All right. And I apologize because your boy is going to have to speed through this because I got stuff to do today. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know when the next time I'll be able to get on is. And there's a lot of stuff popping off. And I got limited time and a lot of stuff to talk about. So we're going to try to squeeze this in here as quickly as possible. All right. So let me ask you guys this question. How many people have noticed this pattern of all these liberal cities taking the knee to the mass deportation plans? If you guys notice that and you see it, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not notice it and you don't see it, give me a thumbs down. Now, here is my question for you guys. If you do see it, my question is, why is it happening? Why is it happening? Let's take a look at some of this stuff.
For Idaho News 6, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson. President-elect Donald Trump wants mass deportations for those who are in this country illegally, and he says it will be a priority. But the question remains, how would it work? What role would local sheriff's departments play? And how would it impact neighborhoods here in the Treasure Valley?
We are going to start the largest mass deportation in the history of our country, because we have no choice. It's not sustainable. And we are going to start with violent criminals.
I think there could be more ICE raids. I think that could happen more often.
J.J. Despain is an Idaho immigration attorney who believes Idahoans need to be ready for what may happen over the next 4 years.
You know, it's a good idea for employers to kind of check to see.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. How realistic do you guys think this is? Shout out to Miss Nisi. Miss Nisi says, Rob, whenever you have to be quick, the live stream is usually 3 to 4 hours. Well, you guys know that that's pretty quick for me, right? You know, I move slow. I take my time. You know what I'm saying? Get the full flavor, right?
Employees have some options. You know, I don't think there's going to be, you know, again, they're going to go after certain priorities, places where they know there are a lot of unauthorized workers are probably going to be targeted more. You know, probably some of the agricultural places around here should watch out for that.
If a business is knowingly hiring undocumented workers, do you think they should suffer the consequences?
That's a great question. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because that's a question that I ask all the time. If businesses are supporting the undocumented economy, should those businesses be prosecuted along with the migrants in the mass deportation effort? If you think that they should, give me some thumbs up or some flames in the chat. If you think that they shouldn't, then give me a thumbs down and let me know why. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. What's good with it?
Well, they're going to suffer. If they get deported, they're going to suffer major consequences anyway. I mean, that's going to be detrimental to their business. But beyond that, I don't know. There probably should be some consequence. I don't know to what level that should be.
Malheur County Sheriff.
Why doesn't he know what level that should be? Of course, you're hiring illegal people. You know what I'm saying? You're utilizing illegal help. You're cheating, quote unquote, the system, which, mind you, the system is made for cheating, right? You're cheating the system that's made for cheating. You see how this guy is puzzled? I mean, I don't know what type of consequence there should be. You're law enforcement. It's illegal. What does law enforcement do when things are illegal, allegedly?
Going to suffer. If they get deported, they're going to suffer major consequences anyway. I mean, that's going to be detrimental to their business. But beyond that, I don't know. There probably should be some consequence. I don't know to what level that should be.
Malheur County Sheriff Travis Johnson supports the new administration's border and immigration policies, but because Oregon is a sanctuary state, he cannot assist immigration and customs enforcement in tracking undocumented workers.
Now, let me ask you guys this. How many people knew that Oregon was a sanctuary state? if you were aware that Oregon was a sanctuary state, give me a thumbs up. If you guys were not aware that Oregon was a sanctuary state, give me a thumbs down. I find it interesting, right, that Oregon is a sanctuary state. Somehow they find themselves out of the bad media attention. Fox doesn't highlight Oregon too much. Why not? Why not? And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment wherever you're watching from. Smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. Shout out to Sybil. What's going on with it, Sybil?
A spokesperson for the regional ICE office told me they can't speak to what's going to happen after President-elect Donald Trump takes office. As of right now, their priority is to take the criminal element off the streets. The nonprofit American Community Council says to put 13 million undocumented immigrants into context, the entire U.S. prison and jail population in 2022 was just under 2 million people. Mariela Diaz, president of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, points out the uncertainty concerning
Yeah, the only problem is the people in jail are American citizens, and most of those people are in jail for nonviolent offenses, right? Would you guys agree? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
DACA, which is Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, immigrant children who have grown up in America.
They came to the United States without their willingness to come to the United States. And the only country that they know is the United States.
That's interesting that they came without their willingness. Now, they came with a family. That family had custody over them because the parents have custody over the minors, and it was the family's will to come to the United States. So now we're acting like what? We brought these people to the United States, what, involuntarily? Is that what being said here? DACA people came to the United States involuntarily? Is that what we're going with? Is that what's happening here? Is that what happened?
And the only country that they know is the United States. So they speak only English. This is their culture. Sometimes they don't know about their country, or they don't.
They sound like it's interesting. They sound like manufactured Americans, right? Because that's pretty much that kind of. It's kind of similar to Americans, right?
Don't know about their culture, even though they were born in that country. They are United States citizens by heart.
I asked Diaz what she expects will happen in the future. Are you expecting your...
Doesn't that just make your heart melt? They're United States citizens by heart. They're American citizens by heart. How do you guys feel about that?
Workload to increase?
Oh, yes. We are preparing for that, for sure.
Idaho News 6 will continue to follow this important issue and how it might affect our area in the months ahead. Reporting from outside the Ada County Jail, I'm senior reporter Don Nelson, Idaho News 6.
All right, so there's that. All right, moving right along. Let me see. We're going to put this right back to the end there. All right. We're going to take a look at this article that they had from News Nation. Shout out to Shatera. What's good with it, Shatera? We're going to take a look at this article that they had, or this video article that they had from News Nation, talking about the quote-unquote border success versus the quote-unquote border failures, all right? The border success versus the border failure. Now, we all can agree that the Biden administration has been a textbook border failure, right? A textbook border failure, an atrocity, a national embarrassment, right?
So let's start with that. A few other immigration topics to go through. Reaction?
Well, look, this is a policy that's been put in place to try to avoid there being a chilling effect, right? We want people.
Hey, shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, United States. It's at that moment that she didn't realize how much truth she told. She called the United States United States, and it was at that moment that a mispronunciation became a difficult truth. But anyway, let's continue, shall we?
People feel free to take their kids to school. We want people to be able to go to the hospital if they need urgent medical care. So the idea was that because
James, what's good with it, bro?
when you go to the emergency room, we should ban ICE presence there so as to give people reassurance that they're not going to be arrested if they run to the emergency room. Look, I think some of this is not, it's not going to drive up the total number of ICE arrests by eviscerating this policy. But I do think what's kind of going on here, Carl, is the desire to create a climate of fear, whereby you create a more of a chilling effect to probably encourage undocumented populations to leave the country in the first place.
Some reports were seeing that before Trump comes in. I mean, you think you'll see more of that? People getting out early or leaving early?
I don't know. I think some of
now, how many people have heard the reports of people self-deporting? If you all have heard the reports that people have been massively self-deporting, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys have not, then give me a thumbs down. They are massively self-deporting from what I understand. This is what I've heard, quote unquote, ahead of the inauguration.
a lot of this population has really been in this country a long time. I mean, but 75% of the people have been here since at least 2007. And you and I have talked about this a bit. Yeah. They're integrated, with U.S. citizen families. You have 4.4 million U.S. citizen children who have an undocumented parent. So I don't think it's necessarily easy for that undocumented population that's inside the country to
now, I want you guys to pay very close attention to this, right? I want you guys to pay very close attention to how this illegal act has become a quote-unquote national debate. It's become a national topic of discussion. This is clearly illegal. Right? This is illegal. These people have broken the law to create these families. These people have broken the law to come into the United States. And yet there's a heartfelt national conversation with much empathy and understanding about why in certain situations it's okay to break the law versus why in other situations it's not okay to break the law. And half of the United States thinks that it's okay to break this law, right? And then they compare the people that break this law to jails that hold massive amounts of other people who are American citizens, right? Who have not committed felonies half as violent as Trinde Aragua. Let that sink in for a moment. And also sink those thumbs into that like button. All right. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that bell icon, subscribe to the channel. All right. Share the stream wherever you're watching from. Definitely appreciate it. And as you guys can see, 28% of the notifications come from Discord. So please take a moment and hit that Discord link that is pinned in the comment section.
Pack up their things and leave. I imagine people are going to wait it out, but look, I know this rhetoric is creating obviously a lot of fear in the immigrant community. So certainly some are going to depart.
I said there were some other immigration-related headlines. Here's one from the New York Times. The recent immigration surge has been the largest in U.S. history. About 60% of immigrants who've entered the country since 2021, beginning of the Biden administration, have done so without legal authorization. This was from a gold.
Now, this is from the New York Times. You guys see this headline here, right? This is from the New York Times. How many people knew about this little statistic? About 60% of immigrants who have entered the country since 2021 have done so without legal authorization. This is according to a Goldman Sachs report based on government data. This is based on government data that these people have done this. What do you guys think about this little statistic here?
Goldman Sachs report, but in other words, this is the worst we've ever seen during the Biden administration. What would you say about that in terms of context, if anything?
Carl, I think what it highlights is we went through a fundamental, an incredibly unprecedented event at our border the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. To be fair, during the Biden administration with the new asylum rule, the numbers dropped. A lot of that is also attributable to Mexico. But look, at the end of the day, this is probably one of the leading reasons for this election, right? People saw these images night after night of tens of thousands of migrants flooding across our border, and people that's going to be incredibly difficult, even with the Trump administration's mass deportation plan, to remove people. And I think that, I'm not surprised by the New York Times data. I mean, we saw it every night, but it just kind of brings it all together for what a massive...
Well, that'll be the legacy, though, right, John, of this Biden administration? Not that the numbers went down at the end when they finally acted, but that they waited, and that he, as the president, waited way too long to take action, right? That's the legacy on immigration.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think, look, at the end of the day, there's a lot of different things that we've talked about before. The immigration system is massive, it's complex, but that border is what defines success or failure. And I think you're right. At the end of the day, the judgment is in. I think the American people were very disturbed by what they saw night after night and the inability of the United States to enforce the rule of law at our border. And I think, look, I understand people's frustration. You have to be able to enforce your laws and maintain the integrity of your borders.
All right, here's the last thing, because this plays into it as well, because just because all of that is true doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing from here on out with the Trump administration coming in and the mass deportations and everything else. What about execution? What about the effect on people and families and on the economy? Senior fellow at the American Immigration Council testifying at a Judiciary Committee, Aaron Reichlin-Melnick, said this. Watch.
Efforts to ramp up deportations would sweep in tens of thousands of people each year who have no or minimal criminal legal system contact. We know this because this is what happened during the first Trump administration.
The reason why they don't have any criminal contact or legal criminal contact is because the criminal justice system ignores these people. These people, how many people would agree that these people get a criminal justice system pass for breaking the law in many different laws beyond just crossing the border illegally? Once they get here, they get protections from certain crimes that they commit here as well. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Mass deportations would also cause economic chaos. As millions are expelled, the U.S. population and labor force would shrink. So too would the economy. Prices would rise in sectors.
Oh, man, we hitting that goal, man. We are hitting that goal. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions says, hey, I won't mind a call-in segment. Hey, if we hit that goal, I guess I got to give you guys a call-in segment. If I hit the goal, I guess I got to give you guys a call-in segment. What do you guys think about that? It won't be today, though. You know what I'm saying? I have to make it for the next time we do it, but I definitely will. I definitely will. All right, so shout out to AB. Make sure you guys show AB some love. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man AB Promotions for funding the organization. And y'all know I'm about to take this and go buy some Solana. It's only $189 right now.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate it. You know what I'm about to do with that money? Pump.fun. Pump.fun.
Sectors with significant undocumented workforces.
Okay, any or all of that true concerns for you, someone who knows this pretty well?
Look, every migrant comes here because there's jobs available, right? 98% of the migration in this country, 99% is because it's economically based, right? There's opportunity in America, there's a demand. We have an immigration system that has never created, visa categories or pathways for people to legally come here. So the demand for our labor far outstrips the available number of
That's not true. And visas and those type of legal pathways and different things like that are not the only ways that people get here. That's not true. How did people get here before 2016? How?
As it's being described. Now, Connell, again, though there are substantial hurdles to the administration for being able to pull this off. And if you look back at the original Trump administration, I mean, I heard his reference to it, but the reality is the numbers were actually pretty
Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said Soul has to hit $80 for me to buy some more. Hey, I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for that to happen. I wouldn't hold my breath waiting for that to happen. I'm not holding my breath waiting for it to stay under 200 neither. You know what I'm saying? I'm not waiting to exhale, and I'm definitely not waiting to inhale neither. You know what I'm saying? I'm going all in head first. You know what I'm saying?
paltry, right? Only about 250,000 deportations in a year, certainly below the Obama administration. So look, I think a lot remains to be seen how all this is going to play out. Obviously, they're going to need a tremendous infusion of resources over at ICE and CBP to come anywhere near what.
Hey, shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Hey. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Hey. Let's get it. Facts. Let's get it. Make sure you guys show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate it, Brooklyn Queen.
They're talking about, but certainly if you reduce the population or if you got rid of 11 undocumented migrants in this country, they're all employed here. There will be economic consequences.
All right, John, as always, thanks. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks so much for watching.
The economic consequences should come from all of the businesses that go out of business as a result of being fined and having to pay consequences for the illegal action of bringing all of these people here and contributing to this. Let me ask you guys this question. How many people would say that the lax business policies and the ability of these companies to operate illegally with the quote unquote cheap help for so long has contributed to the migrant crisis? If people are coming here for quote unquote illegal jobs because illegal jobs have been made available and they're not really, there's not anybody really enforcing the law on these companies, they've created a system, you know what I'm saying, that people are attracted to come here and make money, right?
We'll be filing notice by the state of Texas that we intend to seek the death penalty against Jocelyn's murderers.
Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people heard about this 7-year-old child that was deleted by a migrant, if I'm not mistaken, in Houston? If you guys are aware of this, then give me a thumbs up. If you guys are not aware of this, then give me a thumbs down.
We are seeking death because we want the message out there that regardless of who you are, but especially if you are illegally in this country, that you will face the same consequences as anyone else for murdering a child during the course of raping and kidnapping her.
What a terrible story. You heard it here this morning. Harris County, Texas DA Kim Ogg telling us exclusively that she is now seeking the death penalty in the case against 2 Venezuelan migrants accused of killing that 12-year-old girl, Jocelyn Nungri. This, another horrific death out of a child out of Houston. 7-year-old Ivory Smith allegedly killed by a Venezuelan migrant in a drunk driving accident just 2.5 months after ICE released a hold against the suspect.
Now, notice how they don't call her a quote-unquote angel baby. Would that be woke? Is that quote-unquote race swapping if they were to do that? But notice how they don't refer to this young child, this beautiful little girl, as an angel baby. She don't look like the angels hanging up on the pictures at the churches, I guess.
According to the authorities, the suspect, once after the accident,
like Wu-Tang Clan said, oh, snap, again and again. I need to get that from 36 Chambers. What y'all think? Would that be a good drop? Oh, snap, Wu-Tang again and again. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love for funding the organization again.
Again!
Definitely appreciate it, Brooklyn Queen.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to my man David Brown. What's good with it, bro? Yeah, look at that car is very new. The car is very, very new. Shout out to Black Spider. I definitely appreciated Black Spider. Make sure you guys show Black Spider some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Black Spider for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, Black Spider.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, do me a favor, take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. And shout out to Miss Niecy. Make sure y'all show Miss Niecy some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Miss Niecy for funding the organization. And she bought y'all. What do people eat at about what do people eat at 3 o'clock? Afternoon snack, I guess. Afternoon snack is what you call it.
In Springfield,
don't push me, ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the. Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels. Have you seen Garfield? Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is cough it up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you touch my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the
stupidity. Gone overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there. It's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing, and where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he took with now? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines. I'm mad, and my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And they eat the cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
Definitely appreciate you, Miss Niecy. Miss Niecy is helping me with my goal. All you guys are helping me with my goal of becoming a Solana tuna fish, because you guys know it's too late. It's too late to become a Solana whale, but there is still hope in becoming a tuna fish. You know what I'm saying? So your boy out here trying to become a piece of tuna.
Jumped out of the car, took pictures of the crash, and then drove off instead of trying to help the victims. Now Ivory's family is demanding justice. And Ivory's aunt, Sharonda Collins, joins us right now. Sharonda, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I am so sorry. You know, this happened on December 1st, Christmas month. And now your niece, Christina, has lost her only child.
Correct. My niece has lost her only child. Her dad has lost his only daughter. Our family has lost Ivory, which was loved throughout our family. She was one of our youngest ones in the family.
Hey, how many of you guys think they're gonna start saying that Fox News is woke? They're gonna start saying Fox News is woke if they keep up with this. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. You know what I'm saying? The OG viewers of Fox, they're not really gonna like this too much. What'd you guys think?
And we're just seeking justice. We're trying to get these laws changed because it's unfair. Like you guys say, it's 12 days before Christmas, and
they're gonna start saying Fox is doing all these DEI news stories. Fox is doing all these DEI news stories. There's quote unquote actual Americans out here being harmed by this. That's what they're gonna start saying. Because that's how they feel. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. This is what they're gonna say. There's actual tax-paying Americans who are being affected like this. And Fox News is trying to pander, and they're putting out these quote unquote DEI stories. That's what they're gonna say, man. Don't let them get away with it.
Planning a funeral instead of trying to celebrate Christmas.
Sharonda, explain that.
Make them wear that jacket, man. Make them people wear that jacket.
That thing that I just talked about in this introduction, this migrant from Venezuela, after he hit the other car, jumps out, and rather than helps, he takes pictures and then gets in the car and speeds away?
Yes, unfortunately, he didn't care. He didn't care that it was a mother and a daughter in that car, scared that he had harmed. He didn't try to assist. He didn't try to call for help. He got out, he took pictures, and he tried to flee the scene.
Yeah.
Watch, they lay lifeless.
And as we look at these images of this beautiful little girl, she,
Now, do you guys remember a long time ago during the when we talked about them giving away the licenses in California, and when the whole migrant issue in Springfield, Ohio was going on, and I kept asking the question, how is this not affecting the drivers, the car insurance prices? Do you guys remember that? If you guys remember that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys do not remember that, give me a thumbs down.
Her mother did everything right. She was in the seat. She was belted into the car seat. She was just a few miles from home with her mom, and this happened. You mentioned a moment ago that the laws have got to change. A lot of people are not familiar with the DUI laws in Texas. What in particular you are finding now is a gigantic problem for your family?
The problem is we have to go and we have to fight, along with trying to bury my niece. We have to go and fight the laws in court just to try to not have them get released and get a bond. And only to find out that no, he had a bond for $150,000. It didn't matter what our justice was to fight. If ISIS had not put a hold on him, he would have been released from jail right then when we went to court. So luckily he had an ice hole so he could stay in there and probably not flee again or do anything to harm another family.
You want justice for Ivory. What do you want to see done?
We want the laws in Texas to be stiffer. When they make the decision to drink and drive, they make a decision to possibly go to jail for a longer sentence. Right. Because they don't give us those choices when we're riding on the street just trying to get home from family house. I should be able to ride. People in Texas should be able to get in their car and get home safe if we're doing everything correctly. We shouldn't have to worry about someone drinking and driving on the streets.
We know that a GoFundMe has been started. Just visit GoFundMe.com to support Ivory's family in their time of loss. But Sharonda, if you would, before you go, can you tell us a little something about Ivory?
Oh, that smile, y'all see it. We're going to miss it. We have so many memories of Ivory.
That's terrible. That's terrible. And this is something that I've said since the day one, since jump. No parent should ever have to bury their child. This is horrible. This is horrible.
She was such a bubbly star to us. She loved the spotlight. She loved to dance. She loved gymnastics. She had a YouTube channel, and we're just gonna miss her. She was always, that smile you see, she was always smiling. And we didn't protect her. Texas laws didn't protect her.
She was just 7 years old. God rest her soul. And thank you very much. I know this is a tough interview to do. If people would like to help your family, go to GoFundMe. Also, you can go to our website, foxandfriends.com, and we will have a link as well. Sharonda Collins, thank you very much for joining us live. And we are so sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
That little girl was 7 years old.
That's terrible, man. That is terrible. That is... Man, that's... What do you guys think about that? That's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. Hold on real quick. We got YouTube going wild here. Okay. Real quick, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all have not smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit that bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Texas is allegedly one of the quote-unquote toughest states on this migrant crisis, on this quote-unquote, undocumented issue. And yet here in Texas, hardcore razor wire Operation Lone Star, Texas, this happened. Now, why did this happen in the toughest state on immigration? Let me know.
Learning that a man accused of killing a 7-year-old girl while driving intoxicated last week was let off of an immigration hold just a few months before the tragedy. Fox 26's Abigail Dye joins us live with these new developments.
Sherman, the suspect is a non-U.S. citizen, we're told, a Venezuelan national. And with his criminal history here in Harris County, the big question is, should he have been out of custody when...
Why does this guy, did you guys hear what she said? And with his criminal history, why does he have a criminal history and he's out on the street driving? Now, mind you, all right, this is not agenda-based news here. This is Fox, or this is the local news channel. You guys see this, right? And shout out to everybody that's watching. We got 25 people watching. I appreciate it. We got 19 likes. Let's try to hit the 1-on-1 ratio. We need 6 people to smash that like button. If everybody can share, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please take a moment, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed and you're watching, take a moment, subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get that ratio up. Shout out to my man, KO Kid Fit. What's good with it, bro? Would you say some of these folks is throwed off? I think a lot of these folks coming into the United States, you got to be kind of throwed off if you go over all that razor wire to get here. You know what I'm saying?
Well, tonight we're learning that a man accused of killing a 7-year-old girl while driving intoxicated last week was let off of an immigration hold just a few months before the tragedy. Fox 26's Abigail Dye joins us live with these new developments.
Sherman, the suspect is a non-U.S. citizen, we're told, a Venezuelan national. And with his criminal history here in Harris County, the big question is, should he have been out of custody when this tragedy happened? Should he have even been in the U.S.?
Well, you guys can answer that question, right? Should he have been out of custody? Should he have been in the U.S.? Let me know.
The death of 7-year-old Ivory Smith made headlines fast.
He's taking her away from us. We wasn't ready. She's 7.
On December 1st, the second grader was killed in a crash that sent her mom, the driver, to the hospital for nearly a week. Investigators saying Joel Enrique Gonzalez Chassin is to blame for running a red light while intoxicated.
If he wasn't out drinking and driving, she would be with us right now and we wouldn't be at court.
We told you how Chassin was put on an immigration hold.
Yes, so currently the bond amount is at $150,000. The reason that is he has an ICE hit, so if he is to make that bond, he has to deal with the immigration side as well. That is not likely to be made.
And now we've learned this isn't the first time he's been on an ICE hold. Records show earlier this year he was arrested for assaulting a family member.
This dude was arrested for assaulting a family member. Now, what would happen to one of you all if you all went to jail or had to go to trial for assaulting a family member? Let me know. You wouldn't be out in the street driving around drunk, would you?
And he was taken into custody in June. There was immediately an ICE hold placed on him. I mean, he couldn't bond out.
The felony was dropped to a misdemeanor and he was sentenced to 113 days in jail.
And the reason it was 113.
Why? 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 We just got to keep asking the question, why? Why does DSB fund the channel so wonderfully like the way that he does? He wants me to become a Solana tuna fish. I appreciate it. Shout out to my man DSB. My man DSB says he needs to stay in lockdown. If you guys agree with DSB, make sure y'all give him all the membership emoji and show him some love for the meal.
In Springfield.
Man, so don't push me. Ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels. Have you seen Garfield? Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's lid, they'll help her to turn them to hamburger. Help us, somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you touch my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit. Gone overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing and where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he took with that? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
Definitely appreciate it, bro. DSB up in here showing his aya. DSB definitely up in here showing his aya. You know what I'm saying?
He going along with the fuck shit. Don't touch me! I'm about to change on your ass! I'll beat your ass with my elbows! Werewolf style!
Yeah, we definitely got to give DSB all the drops. Let's go.
You cheated! I'm going to start on you! Don't push me, ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels. Have you seen Garfield? Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is coughing up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's lid, they'll help her to turn them to hamburger. Help us, somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you touch my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit. Overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing and where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he took with that? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the marching dimes.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, biatch!
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
This is the hardest record out.
I get it.
Silence. I ain't got no money, punk.
Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, "Rob, she is not my girl. I remember that joke in Messenger. It was hilarious." Yeah, how she almost bust herself in the head. Shout out to you, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys show AB Promotion some love for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate it. You guys are killing it, man. I appreciate it. Pretty soon, your boy gonna be a Solana tuna.
15 days because that was the time he had already served. So basically, he just pled guilty and walked out the door because the ICE hold was lifted the day he pled guilty.
I reached out to ICE Houston to ask why that initial hold was lifted. They told me that Justine is a Venezuelan national and some information on his current hold, but didn't disclose anything on the June hold due to privacy regulations.
Or why was that hold lifted?
Why is there privacy regulations on that? What do you guys think? Why are there privacy regulations on whether this quote unquote Venezuelan national was allowed to be released from prison or not? My question is, do you all think that you'd be able to get this information with a FOIA request? Let me know.
When he discharged his sentence. If they had kept that hold on him, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You had a 7-year-old girl that would be alive today, and you had a mother that wouldn't be seriously injured.
And those questions still remain. Now, Ivory's mom, Christina, she is out of the hospital. She was released on Friday, but she still has a long road to recovery, according to the family. They sent me a lengthy statement tonight saying, in part, what's even more troubling is the fact that this individual was released after being detained earlier this year, only to find themselves back in custody after causing irreparable harm. Why do we have holds in place if they fail to keep dangerous individuals off the streets? You can read that full statement and the response that I got from ICE Houston if you click on this story on fox26houston.com. Reporting live in downtown, I'm Abigail Dye with Fox 26 News.
Nicaragua, the Venezuelan prison gang spreads its tentacles across New York City and the country at large. Feds have now busted another ring of these alleged gang members in the Bronx. They found them in an apartment and arrested 7 of them on December 5th. It was a joint raid with the NYPD and Homeland Security, and they were able to identify the group by tracing them to the apartment using an ankle monitor that had been administered federally to one of the individuals alleged to be a Tren de Aragua member. Now, we already know that Tren de Aragua, or TDA, has spread across New York City. It's recruited in the migrant shelters there, where it's also set up gun smuggling rings. It's created snatch and grab moped robbery gangs. It has a youth crew and is wreaking havoc across the city, even shooting an NYPD cop and assaulting.
Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Brooklyn Queen said, "Oh, y'all will make a cute couple, AB. Listen, they would tear it up at the club. They would definitely tear it up at the club. Hey, she might, you know what I'm saying? She might show out on AB. She might show out on AB. You know what I'm saying? AB would just be standing there in his B-boy stands." Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love for funding the organization.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate you, Brooklyn Queen.
Now, most of the 7 individuals who were caught in this apartment in the Bronx actually had significant rap sheets and warrants out for the arrests after they had committed.
Do you guys notice a pattern with all of these? What is the pattern? Because there's a clear pattern with all of this. The pattern should be very clear, right? And the pattern should be very, very obvious. What is the clear and obvious pattern? Now, you got to ask yourself this question, right? You got to ask yourself this question. what is the situation that created these loopholes and these shortcuts and these workarounds for these people to not get prosecuted by the law? What did that? What caused that?
Allegedly multiple crimes in the United States after crossing the southern border illegally. One of them was actually caught crossing the northern border illegally into Canada and was deported from Canada into the United States.
Listen, they crossed the border up top and they crossed the border down low. How do you even remember? I told you the Migrant Express is wild. It's like they translocate. I don't know if you guys would know what translocation is. You might. If you don't, look it up, right? But it's almost like these migrants translocate, and that's wild. They have a very, very efficient means of travel. Would you guys agree? If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would not agree, give me a thumbs down. And shout out to Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization again. Make sure that you guys show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization. Brooklyn Queen said, "I'm just playing, bro. We'll just do an old school dance battle instead." Hey, big girl got some moves, man. Big girl got some moves. Hey, the big girl got moves, man. She definitely got some moves. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. I appreciate it.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Definitely appreciate you. Hey, when it comes to days and hours, a second is like a Satoshi, right?
In the United States after crossing the southern border illegally. One of them was actually caught crossing the northern border illegally into Canada and was deported from Canada into the United States. That alleged gang member, Jonaiker.
Shout out to DSB. DSB said, them folks are hell on wheels, bro. Facts. They hell on wheels, hell on sandals. You know what I'm saying? Hell on mopeds. You know what I'm saying? They hell all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DSB. Make sure y'all show DSB some love for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Shout out to my people making me great, man. I appreciate y'all.
Cardozo had 4 busts from law enforcement within the United States before the raid. Most were in the big.
My man John Guillory is in the building. Fellow crow at knife whale in the house. You know what I'm saying? We got a fellow crow at knife whale in the building. Like I said, I'm trying to be a Solana tuna fish, but we got an actual crow at knife whale in the building. That's what's good.
Apple, while one was in Greenville, South Carolina. One of the other members of the gang that was caught in this apartment actually had crossed 2 different U.S. borders. He crossed into the United States.
And shout out to Black Spider. You know what I'm saying? Funding the organization again. Make sure y'all show Black Spider some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Black Spider for funding the organization.
Again!
Definitely appreciate you, Black Spider.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Yeah, y'all trying to make me the king of the world.
I'm the king of the world. You will bow down, bitches.
Hey, that's what the Democrats doing right now, which is funny, right? It's funny. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump won the election for the most part, right? It made him the king of the world. And now what you see is the Democrats, they bowing down.
I'm the king of the world. You will bow down, bitches.
Southern border, committed some crimes allegedly in the United States, and then made his way to the northern border, crossed into Canada, and the Canadian authorities caught him and kicked him back to the United States. One of the other members of the group had already been ordered deported by an immigration judge, but because these individuals are from Venezuela.
Look at this now. Again, I'm going to ask this question again. Does anybody notice a pattern with all of this? And if you do notice a pattern with all of this, what is the pattern that you notice? And again, think about this. Why is this happening? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Or does it? It doesn't make any sense. What's the pattern with all of this?
And the Maduro regime refuses to accept deportation flights and provide the necessary documentation to ICE to allow them to carry out deportations. These Venezuelan gangbangers are stuck in limbo in the United States. That's one of the reasons they've been able to grow and thrive here just within a couple of years of arriving at the southern border. And they've been able to get past federal vetting procedures when doing so. The migrants know not to get tattooed as they're crossing into the United States. And the only way that federal authorities really know, sources say, that these are gang members is if they, quote, self-admit.
For more stories like these, be sure to...
All right, so there's that. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. All right. Got an article here from Fox, of course, right? Because unfortunately, they're one of the only news outlets that actually talks about this stuff, which, you know, you got to ask yourself questions about that, right? So let's see what they're saying here. All right. Trinidad Aragua members arrested in New York apartment complex next to daycare facility. That's the wrong place. 22 members of Trinidad Aragua were arrested in this raid. Why would they have them posted up right by a daycare center? That's the wrong place to have some Trinidad Aragua members. Wouldn't you guys agree?
There was a raid in the Bronx here in New York that led police to the arrest of nearly 24 men with suspected ties to that violent Venezuelan gang, Trinidad Aragua. The bus was reportedly made possible after police tracked an ankle monitor from a 28-year-old Venezuelan national with 3 prior arrests. Well, see if they got him. CB Cotton's live in New York with more. CB, what's the story? Hello.
Hi, Bill. Good morning. A law enforcement source tells me officers raided 2 separate locations here in the city, leading to the arrest of 22 suspected Trinidad Aragua gang members. The New York Post, as you said, reports that officers tracked one of the suspect's ankle monitors to this apartment in the Bronx being used as a hideout. The outlet reports some of the men had racked up multiple arrests in separate states after crossing the border. This bus comes...
So they had a Trap de Aragua house. Y'all see that? They had a Trap de Aragua house. They had a Trap de Aragua house up there in New York City. They was all up in the Trap de Aragua house just chilling. All of them with a rap sheet. With a rap sheet. They had a Christmas list of crimes following them around.
After another raid in late November, which led to the arrest of these 2 confirmed Trinidad Aragua gang members. ICE telling me at the time, both of the men crossed illegally into the country last year and were wanted in Aurora, Colorado, when police say they and other armed men tried to break into an apartment, as seen on this viral video. This week, that same apartment complex...
Now, if you ask me, I think that America needs to treat this situation with Trinidad Aragua a little bit different than they're treating the rest of the immigration situation. And I think that, you know, the tough talk about the military and all of that, they actually look at these people walking around taking over these apartment complexes. These are actual takeovers, right? And the Venezuelan government will not allow them back, which should be received as that means that they want them here destabilizing things. So it's almost like they're sending secret agents and military people and people with, you know, these type of skills over here to the United States for them to stay, for them to destabilize things and cause problems here in the United States. And the United States should address that in that way. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, then give me a thumbs down. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys have not hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
Made headlines again when a man and woman were pistol whipped and tortured there. ICE tells me at least 16 suspected gang members were taken into custody in connection with that incident this week. And back in April, Fox was there as federal agents busted 3 suspected Trinidad Aragua gang members at this Bronx apartment. New York City Mayor Eric Adams met with incoming border czar Tom Homan just last week and say they're ready to work together to remove illegal migrants who commit violent crimes. Homan has also said he does not understand why more leaders are not on board.
I'm shocked at other mayors and other governors who want to, put roadblocks up. I can't believe any elected official does not want to remove public safety threats from their communities.
And as for these latest arrests here in the city, federal agencies tell us the investigation is ongoing. Bill.
CB Cotton, thank you. More on that. Wow, intriguing. Thanks.
All right, so there's that. All right, so I think they have another clip down here somewhere. All right, yeah, we're going to take a look at this one. All right, let's see what they're talking about right here. Hopefully this will play. It doesn't look like... Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We might get lucky. We might get lucky.
Never given blood.
All right, so we got 28 seconds worth of a commercial. So during this 28 seconds worth of the commercial, let's see where we at with the likes. Let's see if we got the one-on-one ratio popping off. Shout out to the people in the chat who have smashed the like button already. Definitely appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people who have shared. We have hit that 1-in-1 ratio. We got 23 people watching and we got 26 likes. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys flood the chat with some 100s. Definitely appreciate it. If you guys haven't shared, please take a moment and share. If you're not subscribed to the channel over on Rumble, make sure you hit the link when it comes up in the chat. All right. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. We got the video finally. All right. Let's see what's going on here.
Begin first with correspondent CB Cotton in New York. Hi, CB.
Hi, Jillian. Well, ICE confirms 2 members of Tren de Aragua were arrested during a major drug and gun bust here in New York City. The agency says the 2 men crossed illegally into the country last year, and now they face deportation proceedings after being tied to a drug ring operating in Manhattan. Denier Aramillo Meneses and Edison Pena Angulo, suspected of committing credit card fraud, violence, and selling heroin and fake weed, according to the New York Post, which says Meneses and Angulo were 2 of 15 suspected.
Can I ask you a question? Why would you try to build a criminal empire on selling fake weed when you could actually build a legal empire on selling actual weed? You can actually sell real weed. Why would you try to build a criminal empire on selling fake weed? What, that's kind of weird, right? Bringing, you know what I'm saying, a lot of weirdos.
Venezuelan gang members arrested during an early morning raid on Wednesday following a months-long investigation into narcotics trafficking and gang violence. Officers also finding these 3 semi-automatic rifles, 2 pistols.
Look, now let me ask you guys this question. These guns right here that they had up on the screen, are those military-grade weapons? To further lament my point, how many people would say that those are military-grade weapons? Those are military-grade weapons. It's not what you usually see somebody rob a gas station with, this kind of stuff here.
Pistols and ammo during the bust. Both Meneses and Angulo had active warrants in Aurora, Colorado on felony charges of first-degree burglary and menacing with a firearm for another incident that you may remember. The viral video showing them and other armed men breaking into an Aurora, Colorado apartment unit about 10 minutes before a fatal shooting at the complex. The men knocked on 2 apartments, threatened and scared residents inside, according to a local report. And at the time, officers said none of the men had been linked to any criminal organization. But shortly after the incident, the property management company made headlines for claiming the apartment complex had been taken over by Tren de Aragua gang members, a claim that was denied by both local police and the mayor of Aurora, Colorado. But now I've confirmed that 2 of the men captured on that viral video are indeed Tren de Aragua gang members.
Now, if you guys haven't seen the videos that I've made about these particular situations that took place in Denver, Colorado, I'd advise people to watch the old undocumented live streams as they come up on your homepage, okay? Because we talked about all of this stuff. And, you know, when this stuff was being talked about, there were many people out there who were saying that this was mis and disinformation. Do you all remember that?
Arrested here in New York City. A spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has declined to comment. So it's unclear what charges the pair will now face. Jillian.
All right, CB Cotton in New York.
Shout out to MC Fact. MC Fact says somebody is bankrolling these gangs. Facts. The same way y'all need to bankroll BLR. Bankroll BLR. And I tell you, I do more. They'll be more mad at me than they are mad at Tren de Aragua. I'll tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So now what we going to do is we are going to take a look at one of the mayors that we know. Well, actually, let's actually take a look at this. Let's actually take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. We got a couple things. We got a couple things here. All right. Now we gotta oh man, it's a lot. All right, it's a lot. Let's take a look at this video right here. It's a lot going on. We're gonna have to do another stream to finish this stuff up tonight. And when we do that stream and finish this stuff up tonight, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do this tonight. Once we do this stream and finish this up tonight, that might be the call-in stream. What do you guys think? If you guys down for that, give me a thumbs up. If you're not down for that, then give me a thumbs down.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams meeting with Border Czar Tom Homan. Listen to what the mayor had to say. Roll it.
We're not going to be a safe haven for those who commit repeated violent crimes against innocent migrants, immigrants, and longstanding New Yorkers. We will not be a safe haven for those who commit violent acts. We don't do it for those who are citizens, and we're not going to do it for those who are undocumented. We have the same desire to go after those who are committing violent acts, repeated violent acts among innocent New Yorkers and among migrants and asylum seekers.
Tom Homan, Border Czar, is with me here in New York City. Tom, welcome back. Always good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you.
Are you getting full cooperation from the New York City?
Look, I had a great meeting with him yesterday. I've been calling him out for 3 years, thinking he's not doing enough. But yesterday I sat down with a cop. The cop came out of him yesterday, a career cop, and he really wants to put public safety ahead of politics. I believe what he said yesterday. He wants to help us arrest public safety threats that are in the country legally. He also wants to help us find, these 300,000 missing children, which many of them are going to be here in New York City. So he said he's committed. He's going to take some executive actions, overturn some of the bad policies that de Blasio put in place. He wants us to get back into Rikers Island. He wants criminals handed from his officers to us and not hit the streets again. And we left with understanding that my staff.
Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said always doing stuff past my bedtime. Hey, you know what I'm saying? We got to get it in when we can. We got to get it in when we can, right? We got to get it in when we can.
Staff will work with his staff to work out the details, but as of yesterday, he's all in.
Are you going to persuade other mayors or states in sanctuary areas to do the same thing?
I hope so, but
are you meeting with those people?
Not yet, but I've gotten shelters of New York, of other cities that want to meet. And I thank Mayor Adams yesterday for doing that. Not only does he come to the table and help New York, but I'm hoping it's a domino effect. I hope by him meeting with me, other mayors to come forward and governors to have reached out. Until I verify they actually want to sit down, I'm not going to say who they are, but I'm hoping this starts a domino effect because nobody, Republican, Democrat, Independent, should be against removing public safety threats out of the community. I'm not asking them to be immigration officers. I'm asking them to help me find public safety threats.
It's personal with you, isn't it?
It is. I've seen a lot of tragedy in my career.
You've seen child rape victims.
I've talked to little girls as young as 9 who were raped multiple times by criminal cartels. And when you get the experience of getting on your knees and talking to a little girl like that and everything innocent and pure has been, ripped from her, she'll never be the same. It changes who you are. So yeah, I want this to stop. I want the deaths of these young ladies across the country that were raped and murdered, killed by people that aren't supposed to be here. I'm tired of it.
What makes so many people angry is this, what looks like the indifference of people on the left to what's going on at the border and the children coming into America. They seem indifferent.
And I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, right? Me too.
It's like, my dad was a cop, my grandfather was a cop, I was a cop family, that any politician wants to say the people that enforce the law are the bad guys and the ones who break the law are the victims. And I find it shocking that we got like the mayor of Chicago or Governor Pritzker says they're going to do everything they can to get in our way. And San Diego just passed a super sanctuary law where it will be.
And we're going to talk about Brandon Johnson, and we're going to talk about Governor Pritzker too. We might end up having to talk about them in the stream tonight. All right. Hopefully we'll be able to get to them. I'm starting to run out of time, but if not, it'll be I'm going to use the same thumbnail for the stream tonight. All right. So you guys be able to easily identify it. It'll be the same thumbnail. Might have a different title or something, but it'll be the same thumbnail. Okay. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed that like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. And also, if you're not subscribed to Rumble, make sure you take a moment and go subscribe to Rumble. Shout out to MC Fact. Y'all know what time. Tell MC Fact what time.
be arrested for rape. They're going to release them in the community rather than calling us. It should be a non-political issue. Every representative, elected representative, number one responsibility is protection of the communities. Why would you not want public safety threats removed from your community? Come to the table and work with me on this. I'm not asking you to be immigration officers. I'm asking you to be public service and protecting your community.
Am I right in saying that the building materials for the wall are literally lying on the ground, rusting, and being sold off for pennies on the dollar? What do you do about that?
Ever since President Trump announced my appointment, I've been on the board 3 times, which is 3 times more than Kamala Harris was that board. The previous boards are. And I've seen it sitting on the ground in numerous locations. Not only that, Stuart, they're selling pieces penny for the dollar to set us up for failure. Because guess what? We're not going to fail. We secured the border once, we'll do it again, but they want to make it difficult for us. And they're selling taxpayer purchase tools and products penny on the dollar. The American taxpayers should be very upset what they're doing.
You're not waiting for January the 20th. I get the impression you're starting already.
I've started already. I started the day after President Trump called me.
And what did he say? He called you and said, you want to be the border czar? How long did it take you to say yes?
Less than a second. I've been on this network complaining for 4 years. How can I not go back and fix what I've been complaining about?
You have indeed. Well, what are you doing absolutely now? Not waiting until January the 20th. What's happening now? Apart from meeting with Adams and people like that.
Right now, I'm taking sanctuary cities to toll. I'm going around sanctuary cities hoping to meet with these people, say, this isn't going to be tolerated anymore. Enough migrant crime in this country, enough young girls.
As we get to where we're talking about Pritzker and Johnson, we're going to talk about the meeting that Tom Homan had in Chicago. How many people saw that meeting with Tom Homan in Chicago? We're going to talk about that because there's a lot going on there.
Has been murdered. Enough. I've got 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl coming across the open border. We've got 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got the record number of people on terrorist watch lists coming across, over 300. Under Trump, we had 13 in 4 years. So I'm saying enough sanctuary cities are not going to survive. President Trump's going to take action on them, hopefully remove federal funding if they don't come to the table.
I want to go back to J.B. Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois, obviously. He is questioning your authority for mass deportations. Now, are you drawing it at any distance?
Now, I just want you guys to take a look. How do you get a neck like J.B. Pritzker's? I need you guys we need to brainstorm about how you get a neck like that. Is that a neck or is that a no neck? I don't even know what you call that. What is that thing coming out of his collar? What is that thing coming out of his collar? I think I've seen J.B. Pritzker before, and I knew that he had a lot of money. His family is very rich. But I didn't know where all the money came from. Rumor has it that all of the wealth of the Pritzker family came from hotels, right? How many people heard about that? They had a hotel chain, and they became rich off of the hotel chain. But I got a different theory. I got a different theory. I think that J.B. Pritzker got his start in Hollywood. And he's somebody that's very familiar to us. Okay. There goes J.B. Pritzker in his first star role. Okay. From there, he built a career in politics. And now he's going heads up with the Trump administration. So he went from fighting the Empire. Right, he went from fighting the Jedi and the Empire because, Jabba the Hutt and them, they were fighting everybody, right? To now fighting the Trump administration, the descendants of the Hutts, okay? Because other than that, I don't know how you get a neck that looks like that. That he should go for several screenings. Make sure that cholesterol level is intact. Look at the back. Look at the. How does your neck ooze out of your shirt? His neck is it's like somebody is putting icing on pastry, except for it's coming out of the collar. How does that work? And then in the front, there's no neck. It literally, it looks like the collar is squeezing a turd out with a face on it. It's just bizarre. I don't know if anybody has ever noticed. I don't know if it's a trend. I don't know if it's a rite of passage. I don't know what it is. But for whatever reason, it seems like a lot of Democrats are genetically challenged. Have you noticed? If you guys have noticed that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys haven't, give me a thumbs up. Maybe it's like a rite of passage or, some type of unspoken qualifier or something like that.
For mass deportations. Now, are you drawing any distinction between deporting criminal aliens and mass deportations.
No, I've been made it very clear. First of all, he says I don't have authority. We'll see about that. I'm a senior advisor to the President of the United States. Now, do I have the authority to prosecute someone that impedes us or knowingly conceals an illegal alien? I'm not going to prosecute him. The U.S. Attorney will prosecute him. That's her job. But I made it very clear with Eric Adams yesterday. If you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. But we're going to be laser focused on day one out of the gate. We're talking about public safety threats and national security threats. That's our priority. And we got plenty of them to find because under this administration, Biden administration, the removal of criminal illegal aliens has decreased 74%. So not only do we got all the criminals that came across the last 4 years, we got all the ones that were here that were never targeted for arrest.
You were born for this job, weren't you?
I've done this for 34 years, and I can't wait. I come out of retirement for the second time. So then my wife asked me, when are you going to actually retire? And I'm hoping this will be the last time. Hopefully we'll fix it and finish it this time, and hopefully we'll win the support of the American people that this is the right thing to do.
Most of the country is with you. Tom Hohen, a pleasure. Always have had you on the program, and especially today. Thank you very much indeed.
All right, so there's that. All right, so now next what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this new ICE data that they found about 9 days ago. All right, and I got a question for you all. There's a number going around out there, okay? And this number that's going around out there is the amount of migrants ordered to be deported in the United States. So what I want you guys to tell me in the comment section is, what is your best guess for the number of migrants who are illegally in the United States with active deportation orders? How many do you think there are? Give me your best guess of a number. All right, let me know what you guys think.
New ICE data that reveals 1.4 million illegals were given a deportation order, but they remain in the U.S. The vast majority from South and Central America, but there are tens of thousands of migrants from Africa and the Middle East, 38,000, almost 38,000 from China. We've given a deportation order. Okay, they've had a deportation order.
Now, in the stream that we do later on today, more than likely, we will be talking about these quote-unquote Chinese migrants. All right, the Chinese migrants, interestingly, they've not been discussed in many cases. We've discussed them on this channel. We've discussed them on BLR1. We've discussed them on BLR2, but they haven't been discussed for whatever reason. They haven't really been discussed a lot by the mainstream media. We're going to take a deep dive into that along with some Chicago politics tonight.
They're still here, 1.4 million. How do you actually get them to leave?
That's a good question, right? That's something that the current administration should have been doing, and obviously they weren't, and they were tying the hands of ICE agents from doing their job. Now it's going to be a very challenging task. 1.4 million. Those are just the ones that have orders of removal that have already been adjudicated, have already had due process. Now you have to locate them and get them removed. And not only that, now you have the gotaways, over 2 million gotaways that are in the country right now. So it's going to be a very challenging task. That's why it does require everyone to cooperate. Elected officials, state, local, federal law enforcement to get on board and actually cooperate with this new administration moving forward. Because at the end of the day, it's about protecting the country and getting rid of people that should not be in the country, that have committed violent crimes, that have already been adjudicated, that should be removed as per federal law. So it is going to be a very challenging task. I can tell you in Texas, we are ready. We are ready to support whatever the agenda may be. Governor Abbott has made it very clear that we are going to locate any criminals in our state and track them down and get them removed and work with ICE agents. So I think that's what we need to focus on. But again, it's a very, very shocking number, 1.4 million in 38,000 Chinese nationals. Yeah. That's a very shocking number. And those are individuals that are in the country right now that should be removed.
That's a very big job. Lieutenant Olivares, thanks for joining us this morning. See you again real soon.
All right, so there's that. Yeah, so I mean, this is crazy, right? And what's even crazier is that we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this forever, right? Like, we've been talking about this forever. And the interesting thing about it is that, and shout out to my man Kev, what's good with it, bro? We've been talking about this forever, and as long as we've been talking about it, it's almost like nothing's changed. Like, we literally sat by and watched the Biden administration do absolutely nothing about this. They've done absolutely nothing about this. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. This is what the majority of the migrant content looks like when it comes to the mainstream media and the news. Okay, they'll put these false images out here like this.
That's Anna, her husband, and their 2 young children, engaged in a different kind of train surfing on top of a locomotive in 2023, headed north from their native Ecuador in pursuit of their own American dream.
Why are you train surfing? This is a high risk. This is a very high risk and very unsafe thing to do. train surfing. And then, once you do that, try to get over yards of razor wire. These are not low risk activities.
Fast forward a year, and Anna, we're using an alias at her request for privacy reasons, is living at the Stewart Hotel migrant shelter across.
They're all, listen, let me ask you guys this. When it comes to all of these people, everything is an alias. Like, they're undocumented. Like, everything is an alias. Like, what is Anna, an alias for her alias? Like, what are we talking about here?
The street from Madison Square Garden in Midtown Manhattan. Her youngest son, conceived and born here in the United States, he's the only member of this young family with U.S. citizenship. This pursuit of the American dream, not so different in spirit from the many versions of mass immigration America has witnessed through the decades.
Is it though? Is it different? It's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences too. There's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of differences. What do you guys think? I think it's interesting that they're comparing these things.
This pursuit of the American dream, not so different in spirit from the many versions of mass immigration America has witnessed through the decades. In fact, in 1907 alone, a single year, the United States welcomed and processed 1.2 million Irish, Italian, and other European immigrants at Ellis Island. Through the generations, across presidential administrations, changing immigration policy, and away from the heated rhetoric of the day.
So now, if you ask me, that right there would be one of the starts of the problems. These people who came over with this group of immigrants, they're the ones responsible and managing the immigration policies that are out of control today. This group of immigrants and their descendants. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Because I don't think that this group of immigrants should not get scrutinized in the same way that the current group of immigrants is getting scrutinized. I think that they all should get scrutinized. This group of immigrants that came over in these black and white pictures that they're showing, they came over and participated in American degeneracy. And as a result of the American degeneracy that these people participated in, they set up a pathway for what we have going on currently because of the soft spot that they have in their hearts from their beginnings. If you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. But interestingly, that's never talked about in that way. Trump is one of the beneficiaries of this Ellis Island migrant flux that they're talking about here. And as we all know, right, Trump is talking about mass deportation, but he's also talking about making deals for DACA. And, the people who, love Trump are not saying anything about that. We've talked about it over here already. We'll talk about it again because he probably will make some type of deal for DACA. He's got nothing but good things to say about the DACA people. Interestingly, the tough on immigration guy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody watching. We on the 1-to-1. Throw them 100s in the chat. 25 watching, 27 likes. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't shared, share.
There is one constant, the desire to simply live better.
The journey to come here was long, and we went through a lot.
But Anna's life in this political climate is dangerously different. And she tells us she lives in constant fear of the incoming administration's promise of mass deportation.
Why are migrants in fear of anything? Let me ask you guys this question. How many migrant hate crimes have occurred so far at all since any of this? Now, interestingly, when migrants attack Americans, it's not a hate crime. How many Americans have been attacked and been victims of migrant crimes that are not looked at or prosecuted as hate crimes? What do you guys think about that?
We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
Deportations, which threaten to tear apart her mixed.
Now, I want you guys to take a listen to this, right? The majority of the migrants who come to the United States from these countries are countries who are hostile to the United States. They come to the United States illegally. Once they get here illegally, a lot of them use their entry into the country to exploit American resources through criminal activity and sometimes even delete Americans. You're coming from a hostile country and you're attacking Americans. If that's not a hate crime, I don't know what is, but for some reason that discussion hasn't even taken place. My question for everybody is why not? Why hasn't that discussion taken place? What's wrong with people? Where their brains at?
Status family.
With the little one, I don't know if I'm going to have a say to take him with me or if he will have to stay behind.
Does that scare you? The more likely scenario, her entire family being sent back to Ecuador and the dangerous conditions they fled in the first place.
In the situation I was in, I had no other option. I had to leave.
This report aimed simply at exploring how one migrant mother who is brave enough to speak out is mentally and emotionally processing lofty policy decisions and what's expected to be a strict interpretation of existing immigration laws out of Washington.
You have to do things. Well, my thing is, when it comes to this situation, right, I would do things the same way that a business has to do things. I would do things the same way that most people have to do things. If you're concerned about the law, then what you need to do is you need to do as much as possible to make sure that you're compliant with the law. Shout out to the crypto people. That's what the crypto people have had to do for years. They've been attacking crypto exchanges. They've been attacking cryptocurrencies, and these crypto companies are doing everything possible to meet SEC guidelines and laws. They're doing everything possible. These people are not doing everything possible, and they're getting all the support from the government. Somebody make it make sense.
Lawfully. New York City Councilman Bob Holden says migrant criminals should absolutely be removed without delay. As for Anna's situation,
they're trying to make a better life for themselves. I understand that. I get it. But there are a lot of people that want to be citizens of the United States that waited in line and hired attorneys and have to wait several years.
Anna says she's no criminal, but still worries about what might happen to her family, including her U.S.-born son, next year under the next administration.
I don't have a friend or relative here or anyone here who I can leave my child with.
These days, Anna is doubly worried for herself and her husband, who is currently working in construction in Alabama to help support the family.
He's worked hard. We miss him a lot, but I'm also worried that when he's down there, he could get detained and ask for his legal status and get deported.
Anna's life, no different from any other parent raising young kids without a support system, except she's doing it while also trying to hide in plain sight. Her children, keenly aware of their situation.
When they see the news and hear the word deportation, they know that we are not at peace and that we are not safe.
Blending in, staying under the radar to avoid acts of discrimination, or catching the attention of federal immigration agents.
What kind of acts of discrimination are they facing except for being allowed to commit crimes and then get released and come into the country illegally and not go to court for it, and do crimes, go to court, and then be released because of the exploited and lackadaisical bond policies that a lot of these liberal cities have? What discrimination are they facing?
All part of their life now. Do you feel welcome in this country?
There are some days when we travel on the train and I tell my kids, don't talk.
You should feel welcome in this country. Let me ask you guys this question. If you broke into my house and while you're at my house, I'm eating dinner, and I said, hey, we got some extra food over there on the stove. Go ahead and get you a plate. My wallet is over there on the table. Go ahead and get about $20-$30 out of there. You know what I'm saying? And take some furniture out of here when you get done. Take some furniture with you. You know what I'm saying? Would you not feel welcomed in my home? Wouldn't that make you feel welcome?
Because I speak Spanish and not English, there will be an aggression against me.
They have entire places in the United States that are quote unquote Spanish speaking parts of the United States, including in New York where you're at. Wow. We speak English and people don't accept how we speak. You know what I'm saying?
According to recent U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement statistics, between October 2023 and June of this year, the New York City and Newark, New Jersey ICE field offices conducted a total of 475 removals. 74% of them were for other non-criminal violations.
When they come into the communities, what are the tactics and strategies that they're going to use?
Janice Northia manages community engagement for the New York Immigration Coalition. She says NYIC routinely holds Know Your Rights workshops about judicial warrants and what agents can and cannot lawfully do in the field.
Everyone has a right to be able to live in their home without the fear of someone just coming in.
Anna chose to close our conversation with a word of thanks.
We're very grateful for everything that you are doing, and I just want to ask for forgiveness for coming to your country.
Why do you feel like you need to ask for forgiveness?
Because they see us as people that want to take like an invasion. And there are Latino immigrants who have done harm. And because of that, they generalize all of us.
I mean, what is the life that you want here in the United States for you and your children?
I want y'all to pay attention to what she's saying. Pay attention to this. Do y'all see this? I want just pay very close attention.
I want a peaceful life for my children, a college education that I never accomplished, and the future that I never had.
All right, so there's that. All right, there's that. All right, so unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, we got to get up out of here. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Make sure you guys smash that like button on your way out. Shout out to the replay gang. Y'all know what to do. Make sure y'all leave comments, hashtag replay gang. We hit the goal, so hopefully we'll be able to do that call-in stream tonight. All right, we hit the goal, so make sure y'all throw some gold in the chat. Shout out to my man Leonard D. Yuta. What's good with you, bro? Throw some gold in the chat for y'all because y'all hit the goal, man. That's what's good. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all show these people some love. Y'all know the stream sponsors. Without no stream sponsors, it ain't no streams. Shout out to my man AB. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Y'all already know. Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen on the again. They changed up StreamYards, so it's kind of I gotta get used to this. Again! Shout out to Black Spider. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure y'all show Black Spider some love. Shout out to Miss Nisi. Definitely appreciate you, Miss Nisi. Shout out to DSB. Make sure you guys show DSB some love. Definitely appreciate you, DSB. Shout out to DSB again. Definitely appreciate it. Again! Definitely appreciate you, DSB. Let me see. Where are we at here? What just happened? Oh, okay, there we go. All right. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB Promotions some love. Again. Again! Definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Again! Definitely appreciate it. Brooklyn Queen on it again. Again! Shout out to DSB. Make sure y'all show DSB some love again. Again! And shout out to Black Spider showing love again. Make sure y'all show Black Spider some love. Again! Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to Sybil for becoming a member. Make sure y'all show Sybil some love. We are getting a membership army over here, man. I appreciate you guys. We got plenty of members. We about to start, but we always accepting more, right? Trying to become a Solana tuna fish out here. We about to start doing some members only stuff over here. All right. Make sure you guys also join the Discord. Make sure y'all show Sybil some love for joining the membership. Definitely appreciate you standing on that good business.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
And shout out to Miss Nisi for being a member for 2 months. Definitely appreciate you, Miss Nisi. Make sure y'all show Miss Nisi some love.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate it. All right. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,